All right, guys. So we're back to Aries Nutrition Podcast. I have a special guest, the legend Victor Martinez. Guys, Victor's a great guy. I had the pleasure to actually meet him face to face last year, man. Dude, I wish we'd go somewhere and drink because it's such a great guy to kind of hang out with and joke around, man. But Victor is he's huge. He's a huge legend. He did so much for bodybuilding. He does so much for the fans. Always wants to give back to the fans. And it's really, I appreciate it. Everybody that met him appreciate it so much. So I kind of wanted to give you guys access to Victor himself. So Victor, say hi to everybody. And Vic, tell everybody what's your favorite supplement store in New Jersey?
Come on, guys. Without a second guess or second thought, it's Aries Nutrition, everybody. And,
That's
and
a
not
little,
only because of
little
the
plug.
supplements. The supplements part is actually the easy part to say, hey, I get my supplements. You can name any store. But remember, when you buy supplements, the best part is walking into a store and not knowing what you want, not knowing what's new. And Aries Nutrition is always learning, knowing, and informing people what's new, what's the best, what's hot, what's not. So the information is very out there, and you guys know it all. And at the same time, you guys actually work out.
Yeah,
So a
that's
lot of
true.
supplement stores, they may carry us, I mean, not to name any, and not to bash any, of
Right, of course
course,
not. Of course not.
but the obvious reasons. Are you going to be selling something and not be trying it yourself, or not even work out? So
Yeah.
just because of that, Aries Nutrition, it's on top of its game.
We do live the lifestyle. I know I live the lifestyle, and I always try to give back the knowledge I've always learned to give back to people so they could save the time that it took me so long to get to certain points and just save some cash, man, on these supplements for sure. So, but let's get on to Victor. I want people to know who Victor is. What Victor? I just want to know basically when you started, what got you into bodybuilding and made you basically love the sport, and what made Victor Victor?
Well, I'm basically a Dominican kid, immigrant. Obviously, got here the little age of 5 years old. So it was 79. Wind up, of course, Washington Heights. What other place where I wind up.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, the hood life, and
Right.
I'm not gonna say any sob stories or anything. We all had our hard
Mm-hmm.
times. We all had our good times, but it was one of those things where guidance was not, just handed out. It wasn't easy to find because it was basically, regardless if you were as little as 5 years old, as old as 40. In those times, it was there was no guidance for
Yeah.
a lot of people. There was no motivation. There was no social media. So how did things happen? You had to explore. So it was our age of exploring. And for me, going back to Dominican Republic later on at the age of 14,
Mm-hmm.
15, it was basically running into my friends who were now into different kinds of sports, and of course, being one of my favorites, one of them was wrestling.
Okay.
And yeah, they saw me always getting in trouble, getting in fights. I would never turn down a fight, and like I always say, did I know how to fight? No, I just had a lot of heart. But
Right.
they
Right.
said, listen, we know how you can get out your frustration. Let's go to the stadium. And we went down to this broken down, old, wooden bench, real wood, no cushion, no upholstery, nothing like that. And they just said, look, you can punch this out, you can
Right.
punch this.
Right. Right.
And basically, as they say, it was all, all from there. So it was, thank you. I got to say his name is Stalin, and
Mm-hmm.
also, these guys just took me there. They didn't have to. So everything that was done back in my days was genuine. There was no needed something for you, wanted something from you.
Right.
It was my path, and they showed it. And without them even knowing, it was an elite to this. Me speaking to you here right now and speaking to the great fans. Thank you guys again for being here supporting Aris, and always being hardcore, diehard bodybuilding Victor Martinez fans. Always grateful.
When did you do actually your first show? Like you came back to the States. I'm sure at that point you found a gym. You started spending more time in the gym and so forth. What made you say, okay, let's what's this bodybuilding thing? What are these guys getting naked on stage, flexing and showing their muscle? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what kind of pushed you to be like, you know what? Let me see what I can do here.
It was that didn't come till later. I started working out. It was a good friend of mine. I always have to mention him because he was basically the biggest guy, and I didn't know for what damn reason this guy just had the biggest legs. Caprice Murray. I mean, he's a pro as well. We got to compete in the 2005 New York Pro. Caprice Murray was
Mm-hmm.
helped by my friend Eddie Carroll. Rest in peace, Eddie. But Caprice Murray was just in shape, great shape. I mean, great muscle bellies. And I just looked at him and I said, man, I mean, I'm working now, but how did you do that?
Right,
Like,
right,
I
right,
want to
right.
learn. Yeah, yeah. And then he said, I work out in this gym, Elmo's gym, in Washington Heights. And I went into the gym, and it was, I mean, the gyms now look like spas compared to what Elmo's gym was. It
Mm-hmm.
was your typical hole in the wall, you
Mm-hmm.
know, pumping iron, old school gyms with uneven floors, rusty weights. You go in with a white shirt, come out with a yellow shirt, and that's what the stomping ground for a lot of pros. I mean, I can name a lot,
Yeah.
but starting with Caprice Murray, Martin Martinez, Ronnie St. Cloud,
Mm-hmm.
just to name a couple. But it all started there, and that was the first time I got into the bodybuilding, the full bodybuilding mode, not just lifting weights.
Right, 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 right.
So it was almost gym, and then my first show was actually the Elmo's Gym, 1993 Elmo's Gym Classic.
Okay. Had you? You
Yeah,
know,
so
that's funny. That's the year
on the
actually.
first, yeah,
That's the same year I actually came to America. When I was younger, I came in the same year. Um, but
yeah,
when you did
good
that,
year,
yeah.
man, good year.
I'm sorry.
No, it was a good year, man.
It was a good year. I
Graduated
mean.
high school. Yeah, yeah. Didn't think I was gonna graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Did my first show, which is the first time I ever planned something longer than a month ever.
Gotcha.
And it was one of those things that I'm like, okay, I mean, I can start looking, to future things. I mean, this long planning was never a
Yeah.
thing I could even think of,
It gave you. It
because
gave
of
you.
course.
It seems like it gave you a lot of structure, and puts you on a path.
Yeah,
You
and that
know.
was just the beginning. That was just the beginning of the building blocks of, the discipline I would acquire through bodybuilding. I
Yeah.
mean, again, just people see bodybuilding, oh, eating food 6 meals a day, getting to the gym, training schedules, routines, but you take that same thing and you can apply it to anything in life, and
Yes.
that's what bodybuilding was.
It, I'm glad you said that,
I'm
man,
glad you said that,
because
man.
I always, whenever I explain like a lifestyle, right, the lifestyle that we live, the lifestyle is beyond
Yeah,
just bodybuilding because the minute we become structured within the bodybuilding world, the minute we become structured and disciplined, that literally rolls into everything else we do in life. Um, so, and whatever the problem a person, I mean, I know people that have got out of depression from overdosing,
yeah,
from just a whole bunch of problems, where now they had an avenue to release all that, and it was an avenue to build themselves, put them on a steady road, and when that's taken away from people, I think a lot of bad things happen, man. I mean, we were just in that, the whole shutdown and stuff, and it's just unfortunate that the one place, which is the gyms for health, and I'm not just referring to overall internal health, like the body's health. I'm referring to the mental health. I mean, like I personally had a friend who, you know, he used the gym as an avenue from drugs. So when the gym was closed, he couldn't work. He ended up falling back into evil times and passed away from overdose. So, and I know for a fact it would have never happened that way because the gym kept him steady. So, gym is plays a big part. You came from an era where it was all about the hard work. I feel like that's the one thing I always try to talk about is the hard work. We see everybody going to the gym now. We do. Everybody goes there. It's like the thing, right? You gotta let people know you go to the gym, but the work isn't really there. It's more kind of like a show, recording and so forth. And that whole structure piece is now becoming tainted to more of like a show where you're not disciplined anymore. You're
No,
just
no,
showing.
no. And going back to that, I don't want to miss that point because you just said it right now. Everything's going to show, So when I do a post and I show, the hardcore bodybuilding, the other day, fellow bodybuilders passed away, and one of the things I mentioned was she was doing it. She was ahead of her time when nobody was really watching and there was no social media.
Right.
Now a lot of people that do this obviously is because they're being watched. It's kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
look at me. It's all show without actually doing a show.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those genuine moments that you got to the gym because it was in your heart. It was pure love, and nobody had to see you for you to actually prove yourself to yourself that you can do this
Right.
and become something with it. So that's what I love about those times. And you're right, it's not for show, even though we
Yeah.
do it for shows.
Right. It was work before. Now it's the image of work. You know what I'm saying? Where they're portraying that they're actually working, but in reality, it's like, look, you're not working. Everybody can go to the gym, right? Everybody can record themselves in the gym, but to stay disciplined and take that whole mentality and put it into your whole life, it's a different story, man. But going back to you, Vic, man, that was your first show. Now, did you win that first show you did?
I actually did, and I didn't win because I had any knowledge of it. I didn't do the best diet. I think it was by sheer hard work. I mean, I followed the Arnold Encyclopedia to the T,
Okay.
and I did every set, every rep that he wrote in that
That's a lot
freaking
of
book.
volume, man. That's a
Like,
lot of
no,
volume.
it's a lot of volume, underfed,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously, Arnold left out a big part of it, which
He
was,
did. The
nutrition.
nutrition. Yep.
Uh, I did read the part of potatoes and the eggs, and I did do that, and then the rest was just chicken breast. I'm sorry, so much noise here trying to do this, but yeah, it was one of those times that that I saw myself and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? The gym was empty. It was 110 degrees inside the gym.
Right.
It was me and this one other guy, Boricua Pump. That's what we used to call
It's
him
a great name.
because he was used to walk around the gym, kind of like this,
Right.
but he was actually really big, so we just call him Boricua Pump. He was
Mm-hmm.
this Puerto Rican
Yeah,
cat
of
from the
course.
neighborhood. Uh, he was laid out on the bench from the heat in the gym, and of course the fan was on, no AC,
Yeah.
and it was just blowing basically your recycled breath and the
Mm-hmm.
hot air from outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those moments that I said, man, and I stopped and I said, I know the guys I'm competing with are not doing this
Not
right.
doing that right now. Yeah. Yeah.
It was so it was by sheer motivation, so sheer energy and on determination. That's why I won.
Where did it take you from there? Like, how did it start
Quiet.
rolling? Like, how did
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
man.
No,
This is
Vic,
I
it's all
try to
good.
plan quiet, but I
Vic, it's
don't
all good, man.
understand. I don't
Where
understand why the noise, and I'm trying to
Vic, not a problem, my friend.
so
How when you did that show, you won and you kept working. How did it start rolling where you went into nationals, you went into pro, you got into the magazines and so forth?
um the magazine, the first magazine that I found in the basement, and I was blessed to find this because it had my favorite bodybuilders in it, and it was one was Lee Haney.
Mm-hmm.
It had his full back routine. Of course, it had Arnold. I mean, there was no magazine that you can get,
Everything
and
was
Arnold
Arnold.
was
Yeah.
not in it. And this is after watching Conan the Barbarian, the Hulk growing up,
Yeah.
which I didn't think they were real. I didn't think these guys were real. So, first magazine I found was Flex, and I kept it until the last page fell off. And then did my nationals. I couldn't afford magazines, so I either had to go to the library, not return them. Yes, I'm guilty. I did pay my fees though. I did pay my fees. But so Flex was the first one I read, followed by Muscular Development, and there was another one. It was discontinued. The one from I think it was from Canadian. What was it? It was
I'm not sure because I
Muscle
remember Flex
Mag,
always.
Muscle Mag,
Oh,
Muscle
okay.
Mag,
Yes. 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 I
Muscle
remember
Mag.
Muscle Mag. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Muscle Mag, and so I would just read the magazines, catch up on all the bodybuilders. They had the small section on hard times and what have you. But everything was so late. What we knew now was like 8 months ago, 6 months ago. You
Yeah.
know,
Because the way it was
yeah,
printed
yeah,
and
that's a
everything. Yeah.
magazine. Because
So it did take a while.
publication time and all that stuff. Yeah, so reading the magazine. So when I won the nationals, mind you, I bodybuild, but I always had to work.
Yeah.
So my foot was most of the time in life as opposed to being a full time bodybuilder. There was those
Yes.
didn't exist. I had to have 2, 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Bodybuild. So when I finally I would do a show, stay in the loop. When there was no show, I would be out of the loop. So I didn't
Understand.
know who was who unless we spoke about it in the gym.
Gotcha.
That's the only way. And so when I won the nationals, I prepared for the nationals. I'm getting ready. I did a cold turkey on all my friends, my family. I shut down. I rented a small apartment. I got ready. I won. I mean, it was one of those things I didn't expect to win. There was a lot of guys that were already in the magazines, in Flex, that were being pushed, being published.
Yeah.
And when I won, I mean, it was something, surreal. It was something that it didn't sink in. It took a while, It took a while. My coach, Victor Munoz, was one of the first ones that was kind of like, man, he knew, like he always foresaw things
Yeah.
before me, which was great, to keep me uplifted and motivated. But the first shoot, I still remember backstage, and they say, "Hey, Victor, Flex wants to take you out, to California." I was like, I swear, I bitched out, man. I got like so
You didn't?
like,
Did you go or no? Did you go though?
I act like so faggoty that it was just like, really?
Asking me? Wait, me?
So I was like, man, yeah, yeah. Well, again, it's something totally, totally. I don't expect to win a show and then be in photo shoots. It was just,
Yeah.
I won shows before, but I didn't know the magnitude of winning nationals. I still the realism of competing in this level was just, hey, it was just another show. Nobody ever sat me down and say, hey, look, this show's coming up. Like I usually prep my athletes,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yes.
psyche of
You
what
get them
to
ready. Yeah,
expect.
mentally. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, what to expect mentally, you know, um, with writers and photographers, and so I was really at the time taken aback, and I was like, wow, California, flex. This is something I wanted to do when I was 19. Like
Right.
just
Like a
leave
dream
New
come
York
true. Yeah.
and move, just do some. But I had a child young, my
Mm-hmm.
son Justin, and those dreams were, it just I don't know. It just thought, this is not gonna happen. Whatever, my pipe dream, this is not true. So when they said flex, I still didn't quite believe it. And then I started getting the calls like, hey, yeah, what can we book your ticket?
Yeah.
Yeah, your information. I was like, this is really
Real
happening.
happening. Yeah.
Like, this is really freaking happening. I can't believe this. And shot with Flex, Chris Lund, um, um, Reeves. Sorry, I can't remember his first name. He did a great photo shoot. The
Hmm.
photographers, I have to say. And Muscle and Fitness. I got in Muscle and Fitness,
Yeah.
which it was kind of like those bodybuildings that you were bodybuilder, but more like classic bodybuilding because
Hmm.
they were not so big but in shape bodybuilders. So I was like, wow, I'm kind of like, in the small bodybuilder magazine guys. Then when I saw the Flex one, it was like, this is great. I'm inside Flex.
Yeah. This is it. This is what I always was looking at.
One of those real life, daydreams come true. And I mean, then of course all Dominicans thought I had money after that, and I signed a
They
million dollar
do.
contract.
They do. They do. Now listen, when you went back to when you did the flight when you did that photo shoot, you started showing up in magazines. When you went back to DR, or even in New York, were you automatically treated uh, like different and like put up on a higher pedestal, looked up to in a positive way in the whole nine, or was it like a mix?
Mm, like I said, they thought I signed a million dollar contract.
So everybody's a best
So
friend.
it was more like, well, it was more like handouts and this and that, and it was at the end of the day, they're my people, they're my family,
Yeah.
whatever. But I was like, I didn't try to explain it. I wrote it out. I'm like, yeah, I signed a million dollar
Oh,
contract.
you just went with it. You just went with it.
Come on, man. What guy wouldn't do that? Come on.
That's great. Yeah, I'm it, man. That's just it. I made
Yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah. But I had to explain why I didn't have a Porsche and a condo and a house there yet.
Yeah, you were like, I'm investing all that. It's all good. I just bought a
Yeah,
couple
yeah, yeah.
houses in
No,
DR.
checks not cut yet. It's coming, it's coming.
When
Oh, but yeah.
when 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 everything
Go
started
ahead.
rolling for you, man, and then you start getting into magazines. Before we get into like the Olympia thing, what was one of your best, like when you did all the shows, all these pro shows? Is there any pro show that that pops into your head where it was like either the hardest or one of the victories where you like killed yourself to get and you were so happy for?
Oh man, I mean, for that one, it was the new, Night of Champions actually before it became New York Pro. Night of Champions because I still remember the theater. I still remember, going to my first Night of Champions. Actually, backstory: I'm coming out of high school
Okay.
in 1993. I'm coming out of high school. The Night of Champions is coming out, and there is a writer for the magazine I just mentioned, Muscle Mag.
Yes.
And I wish I could remember his name. It was just, but I saw him on West 4th Street in the West Village.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh God, you write for Muscle Mag. I know you. He goes, yeah, how you doing? I said, yeah, no, I'm a bodybuilder. He goes, great. How long you been training? And I said, 2 years. He goes, great, you just started. You know,
And you were like, wait, what? Not
oh
now.
no, but it's one of those things that I started understanding. I knew from the get-go it was a time game.
Yeah.
It was a marathon, as I explained to some of my clients. This is not a sprint.
Right.
This is a marathon. So I already knew I started a marathon of bodybuilding,
Mm-hmm.
to get to this level. And I said, man, you're here for the Night of Champions, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, you're going? I was like, no, I can afford a $50 ticket. You nuts,
Right.
man. I
Right.
barely had lunch money. But it was, it was, remember that because it was Night of Champions. And I just thought for a moment, like, wow, imagine me like stepping on the Night of
On the stage.
Champions stage. And this was 3 months before, no, about maybe 2, 3 months before the Emo Santiago show.
Okay.
So it was around, yeah, it was around school was ending, so it was around
Yeah.
June, and there I go. 10 years later, that was
Uh
'93,
huh.
and then 2003, I'm competing in the show, and my second time, first
Yeah.
time was 2001. 2001 still, I just turned pro.
Mm-hmm.
I did my first show kind of, it was, I have to say it was a rush job. I wasn't ready, you know. Dexter was there. I mean, there's a lot of bodybuilders there.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I wasn't ready, but when I got ready the second time, man, did I work my ass off. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I have to say, so winning that Night of Champions, with a stack 40 plus athletes,
Wow.
I mean, you don't get shows like this anymore.
Wow.
This is
40.
just amateur shows now.
Wow.
40 plus athletes. Night of Champions was always a stacked show. So winning that show was definitely one of my biggest ones, followed by the Arnold, because the
Okay. Yeah.
Arnold, I have history, not so good with the Arnold. First time I did it, again, I screwed up a bit,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it wasn't my call. And I'm not gonna name his name, but you know who you are. You know who you are, and you know what you gave me. Right? And I didn't know any better. Again, I didn't know any better. And and that's why I like working with athletes now, because I give them the pros and the cons of
Mm-hmm.
who is helping you and is it genuine.
Yeah.
But I failed the first test for the Arnold, and again because I didn't know anything. And next thing you know, somebody gives me a direct, oh, you're almost there, and mind you, they didn't prep me for the show. They didn't see a single one of my workouts. They didn't give me a
Mm-hmm.
diet. They just, here, take this, and
Call it a
I
day and go work out and yeah.
took it. And next thing you know, like 5 or 6 men in white robes walk into the pump up room and give us all cups to piss on. And I'm like,
It was like a setup, man.
oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, excuse me.
No, no, no.
What the
I get
F?
it. I get it. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Edit that for the fans. It's a family show. But it was bad. And I tell you what, I didn't take it light.
No,
I
I would
didn't
have been. I
take
would
it
have been
light.
furious. I would have been. You know what? I
No,
would
no,
have. I
no.
would
I
have.
didn't take it light. But look, Patrick, I'm not saying I blame the athlete that gave me this.
Mm-hmm.
I own everything that's happened to me, everything I've done. I own it. I don't say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this person, that person. I'm the one that could have said no. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
one that should have been informed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that took it. I'm the one that swallowed it.
Right.
And I think the part that bothered me the most, it was kind of like, disrespectful to the Arnold show, disrespectful to the Jim Mannion,
Yeah.
promoter, the league. And I just felt bad, man, because I was like, man, like, it's there. They said they're gonna test. Like, you should have just been more keen on your decisions. And I was suspended for a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I took it. Like I said, it was all my fault. And I remember I wrote the letter, and I wrote the letter myself, and I was just like, oh, apologizing. And it was just, I said, I don't want to be in this position ever again,
Right.
So it was, um, you know, one of those down moments of me and in my life in bodybuilding.
You
But
know.
came
You
back
know
to
what?
the Arnold.
You know what,
Yeah.
man? We all have different moments in life, right? Where we're tested, right? And the way I look at it is, I've always said this to people, and I said it always to myself, is we're always going to make some kind of mistake, right? But the way I look at mistakes that we might have made in our life are opportunities for ways to improve and better ourselves. So, in other words, if we make a mistake, right, that's just a learning tool, and we move forward. Now, if we continue to make a mistake nonstop, then shame on us. But at the end of the day, mistakes are ways to make us better. Like nobody's perfect, so
Yeah.
things are always going to happen on different scales, bad and mistakes. So what we do from them, do we look at them as, oh my God, this is over, or do we look at it, cool, here's an opportunity of how I can grow, or here's an opportunity of how I can be better. So that's the way I look at it. Because look,
And it's a true fact right there. It's a true fact. What you just said, Patrick. It's the mistakes, I own them,
mm-hmm,
because now that's how I can prep my athletes. That's how I can prep anyone,
yeah,
regardless of where they're going through, what the situation. I mean, I put it all in perspective.
mm-hmm,
And if I didn't fail those times, I mean, who am I to teach anything else?
right.
So everything was a learning process, and it still is.
And then you came back, and then you got the Arnold win, and you got the Arnold win.
Yeah, it came back a few times. Again, the rest of the Arnolds, I believe I did 2002. Then I came 2005,
Mm-hmm.
6. In 2005, I think a few weeks out, um, I was in court for some bull crap,
Things
and
happen.
last and I partially tore my pec.
Really?
Yeah, I just, this is about 5 weeks out. I decided to just bench 400
Of course.
without a spotter,
Of
and it was
course.
just like one of those, I'm gonna take it out in the gym. I'll take it out in the gym.
Yeah.
I think I did 1 plate, 2 plates, 3 plates. I went straight to
Right to
4,
4, yeah.
and it was one of those things where you just want to press and
Mm-hmm.
squeeze at the top and without a spot, and it was just stupid.
Yeah.
So, but I signed up. I knew I had to do the Arnold. I didn't, bunk out, and I did it. I still did it, but I could not get dry because of the injury. I could not get
Yeah.
dry, and it was just it was that famous MHP picture though. But I did come out big though. It
Mm-hmm.
was huge.
Of course.
It's
Nice
swollen.
and full. Right. Nice and
That
full.
MHP picture with the belt, with the tank top.
Yes.
I'm like this.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
the one
you
from
can get
there.
photo picture out of it. Yeah. That was
That's
that
the one
time.
from
Yeah,
there. So
yeah,
then you did the honor afterwards, and so then we kind of fast forward to, and listen, I know Jay. You're very close friends with Jay Cutler. I'm cool with
yeah.
Jay too,
Yo,
man.
just the man.
He's a
Everybody
great guy,
knows
man. But that 207, man, that that physique of that time and era. So Jay created he was always chasing Ronnie, so he created a mass, a big pile
that.
of mass, right? That
Yeah.
was hard, defined, and so forth. You came in with a structure and belly masses that went poof, that jumped out. Now, look, the judges judge the way they do. Everybody, kind of felt like you had that win because of the shape you came. How it was just there, man. That was like one of your best, probably the best shape you ever came in. And whenever it's that close, it's kind of like a toss of a die. How, when you didn't get that win, how did it, like, what happened? What was it mentally going through your head?
I mean, the prep, I have to say, to date, it was the most perfect prep I ever had. Because I had just come off of the Arnold stage.
Mm-hmm.
I killed myself for the Arnold. I remember killing myself because I knew Dexter was going to be there. It was basically, there was no easy show. I don't think I did a show and I said, oh man, that was an easy win.
Right.
Not in the pros, not in the pro ranks. I could say that about amateur. One show I won in quarter turns, which was the Junior USA in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
But in the pro ranks, it was never an easy show. But from doing the Arnold 2007, I knew how much cardio I did. I knew how much I killed myself. But when I got to the show, I was so tired. And I said, no, this is not right. I got to change something. I don't like that I train so hard. I get to the show and I'm so tired. I can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the win because I was hurting, man. It was hurting from I wasn't recovering fast enough. I was doing too much cardio. I was eating a lot, and it was just protocols we were following.
Hmm.
It's things you follow. But when I work with somebody, that's why I always say communicate.
Right.
I wasn't communicating that back to Chad.
So he figured everything was cool.
Doing
Yeah.
No, I was just doing it because I didn't want to say, "Hey, I'm feeling so and so kind of way." I don't want him to think like, "Man, this guy's not what he's cut out to be."
Yeah.
I did it, man. He said, jump how high, eat how much, and go how far. It was one of those things. So when I finally got to the Arnold, yes, I did win, but I remember I went out that night. I couldn't even stand up.
Wow.
So I changed a few things, based on the way I felt.
Hmm.
And so that's why I said it was a perfect prep, the 2007 Olympia.
It
I
gave
did
you
just
it,
enough cardio.
yeah, and it gave you a nice rebound right after the
Yeah,
Arnold.
no, no, I'm telling you, I did not take a single day off. I think only 2 days, which was because I was traveling.
Hmm.
It was Monday, Sunday and Monday. That's it. Got right back on my training, because my rebounds were bad,
Okay.
you
With food or just
as
in
far
general, how
as
the body?
weight.
Yeah.
No, no, just I would gain about 50 to 60 pounds
Wow.
eating, and it was just the edema, and my legs were swelled, and it was just bad. So the only way I can come combat this was by keep training.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there, eat all this food, and don't process it, without processing it. So
Hmm.
I knew I had to get back into the gym. If I wanted to rest, I had to rest 5 to 6 weeks after the show, not soon
When the
after the
body
show.
rebounded, yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and that's I have to say, for all the guys out there that have this bad rebounds, are the bodybuilders mostly, because we keep, we go, 20, 30, 40 pounds from off season to competitive weight. This happens to us more often than none. So just remember, your best gains and the best times to work out is during that rebound.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I remember, because I've done several shows, so I remember in the beginning, it was always okay. Here's a 16-week prep, and then it's over. When in reality, it's 16 and then 8. That
Yes,
8 weeks after, and then that 8 weeks after is the best time to refill body parts, especially parts that were weak, and because you're completely refilling everything. So if you keep going full
I
force,
did
and you
not stay in a single class for
yes,
longer than a year or two. I went from middle, light heavy, heavyweight, super heavyweight.
just like that.
And it wasn't fast. Like I said, it was at least 1 to 2 years before I moved up a class, because I used
That's
that
still pretty
rebound.
fast, but
No, but I used that rebound to my benefit.
mm-hmm.
Most people think the show's over, I'm gonna rest, and that's the biggest mistake you can do. So now I'm fighting the rebound. I'm training. I didn't do the hour cardio. I stayed at 40, 45 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but harder. So I decided to do shorter cardio, but harder cardio. You know, Now my meals. I got my meals made by an athlete I prepped. So the meals were consistent,
Mm-hmm.
without failure. About exactly 14 weeks out from the Olympia, when I think we started 3 phases, and I think the first phase started in May.
Okay.
So when phase one, phase two, and then phase three was basically about 8 weeks out, and that was total shutdown, no communications. Social media was still in its infancy, so
Correct.
you didn't have to be so active and what have you. And there wasn't really anything crazy going on, so I had the time to just you know get myself mentally and physically just into the gym and home.
Yeah.
So everything was like clockwork. My tanning, the eating, the training, the tanning, the eating, the training. I'm doing twice a day, and I say, hey, I feel good. Let's do 3 a day. So
Really?
yeah, so instead of yeah, so I did my cardio in the morning.
Oh, then you train in the cardio at night,
Yeah,
right?
I did 2 meals.
Mm-hmm.
I did my training in the afternoon. I ate another two meals or three meals actually, and then I went back at night, like 11 o'clock at night, and I did my cardio.
Gotcha.
So my metabolism was just on full force, but not too fast where I would lose too much weight because I was eating close to a pound of protein per meal.
That didn't affect your stomach with digestion?
No, again, it was I think because I had my metabolism so high and slow enough where I didn't do too much cardio. I think if had I done too much cardio, one thing I would have lost too much weight,
Yeah.
and if I would have ate less, I would have also lost weight.
Yeah. True. True. That's interesting.
So I think I found that happy medium where I could train, recover, and every single workout I had a massive pump. I mean, I still remember like yesterday, and it was like every single workout. It got to a point that I wasn't even going heavy anymore. You
Because it
know,
was just
all
filling
this
in so quick.
yeah, yeah. I wasn't, I know I seen Ronnie's training, I seen Jay's training. And again, I did go heavy, but heavy enough
Mm-hmm.
to a point that I never needed a spotter.
Gotcha. Understand.
Yeah, yeah. And I watched some of Dexter's training, and of course, the training I watched was from past Olympia. I think a Road to the Olympias.
Mm-hmm.
So we would watch the tapes.
Yeah.
It was tapes, a lot of tapes and videotapes. So the VCR was on full overload.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching bodybuilding. If I wasn't watching bodybuilding, I'm doing bodybuilding. So now I'm getting to the show as I'm getting closer. One of the things I said, man, I feel good, man. I want to do this Olympia. I got my routine, and I said, there's something missing, and I don't know what it is. And I said, man, I don't have a freaking signature pose. Like, I don't
And
have a
that's how you
signature
create.
pose.
And
What can
that's how
I
you
do?
created that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I had the time to think. I had the time to process everything again, but then again, I didn't process the aftermath. What if I lose? What if I win? What if I was just prepping for it.
Yeah.
But and then I got there. My friend Stevie B was running Vegas at the time. This guy was just from the time I first saw him in Vegas in 2001, in 2007. This guy's got his own clubs. I mean, he's got money. He's just hooked up. I mean, Jay knows him. I don't know what happened, Stevie. If you ever out there, hit me up. But he hooked me up at Caesars. He had a club in Caesars.
Yeah.
He got me the two-bedroom suite, and then he got all my friends. So he got me 4 extra rooms for my friends.
Wow.
So we all stay at Caesars. My friend Angelica Driscoll did my cookies, my
Mm-hmm.
carb up cookies, specially made. I don't know the recipe. All I know is she hand delivered them, and it was just that perfect prep. And then you had Mike. Mike is actually Jay Cutler's friend.
Okay.
So this is his backstory. So Mike calls me up. We go, hey Rick, and Mike is a real character looking guy, with the slick hair, suit, works a lot of places in Vegas, clubs, lounges, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Knows a lot of people. He's in Jay's house, and he goes, hey Vic, I just left Jay's. Can I come see you? I was like, sure, man. Just come over, man.
Right.
Comes over, and again, I'm not making a spectacle of it. I'm not thinking anything of it. And I just say, hey, how's everything? How's Jay? He goes, he's looking good. And I didn't doubt or anything. Not telling me anything, obviously. So he goes, let me see how you look. I said, sure. I took off my shirt, pants, and I start posing. And his eyes just went, he goes, you look like a cartoon, man.
Because of the yeah, the belly,
And
the belly muscles.
me
Yeah,
thinking cartoons, loving animation, that only meant good. So he just starts going like this, kind of like, what the hell?
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm writing this out. And that's it, man. Next day came. That was Thursday night. Friday came, and all day. It was just one thing I needed to do, and I needed to do really bad just to be ready. I haven't gone to the bathroom in 3 days.
Oh, damn, you were backed up.
I really, dude, I was backed up like the I-95 trying to go down to Florida, man. It was,
Oh my
it was
God.
bad, man. It was so bad, man. I mean, it was just like
You
I can't do
you didn't get a
soda.
laxative or anything? You didn't you
Oh no, I wouldn't dare because once I did, and you guys, information on that, laxatives a lot of times when you do them, they could flatten you out.
right,
So
because
I was
everything falls
just
off,
right in
yeah.
the brink. Yeah, I was just right in the brink of fullness, good fullness.
Mm-hmm.
Still had a little water, and uh, the only thing I could do is like, man, call my friend over, and I swear, he dug his elbow in my freaking stomach, almost touching my spine, and he just dug it in there, man. Rob, Rob Klein.
Yeah.
Um, he dug his elbow in there, and he's just going at it. He's going at it, going at it, and I'm like, man, you know what? Stop. I think he did it for like 20 minutes. I said, stop, man. I can't take the pain anymore. I can't. And I start watching TV, and I just went, whoop,
Gotta go.
bathroom. I swear, man.
I'm
Like
sure
magic
like,
happened.
oh my God, your belly must have just went like whoop. Incredible,
No,
man.
it was magic, and all I did after that is just like, oh my God, I gotta hold this. I gotta hold this condition. I
Yeah.
gotta hold this. I gotta hold this. Chad came over, looked at me, and he goes, "We're not doing anything else. We're not doing anything else at
Mm-hmm.
all. Just eat your meals. Nothing else. No sugars. No nothing. Nothing. Obviously, I kept my cookies. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, fine," but everything else was just sailing in there, you know. And color came in good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every light turned green, heading over to the place,
Yeah, I'm
it was
sure.
like
I'm
everything
sure.
was just going smooth,
Yeah,
and
man.
judging happened, and it was just like, man, just waiting. And I remember Ronnie said backstage, he goes, "Man, you got this, Vic." And I
The
said,
famous Ronnie voice.
"Yeah." Oh man, Ronnie, man, don't say that, Ronnie. Not yet. He goes,
uh
"Why?" I said, "Listen, I grew up in the hood, man. Listen, you ain't got nothing until you got it.
yeah.
And I ain't got nothing yet, Ron. You
Uh
know, we
how was
still
it
we're right out there."
how was it because I'm sure it hit you like when he got announced the winner, you were like, fuck. Did it hit you even harder like the next day and the next week and so forth? Or like were you able to bounce back and say I'm gonna fix this or what ended up
It
happening?
felt, it, I mean, in perspective, it felt like that dump I had taken 2 days earlier was coming back into me. Now picture that.
Oh, yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty
Yeah, yeah,
bad.
it felt like I was just sucking it back in, kind of. It felt like a, like, man, this was,
Yeah, I'm sure it was tough, man.
it was just, I mean, really, it was just, the saddest part was the faces of the people. They
Because they
looked at
they
me
they
like
felt
somebody
like
just
yeah,
died, man. They looked at me like they had this sorry, sorry face. Like, I never seen so many looks like that. I've lost shows.
yeah,
I competed with great guys. Yeah, it's been close. I lost, I won. But this was like, I swear I did not get any congratulations. It was more sorries I got.
because they everybody felt like you should have
Yeah,
won.
like I've been third. I got
Mhm.
congratulations. I've been fifth. I got ninth.
Mhm.
I've gotten congratulations. At second, I think it was only my coach.
Yeah.
And even he took a few days to actually congratulate me.
Yeah, cuz he was disappointed too.
Yeah, it was was like sheer like death happened, and I was like, but I'm happy, and I guess it didn't hit me. So I got home. I you know, I just moved into the new apartment, so finally my daughter came
Mm-hmm.
home. You know, so her mother was staying with her parents, and it was just like, man, what's this? I, I could have won this. I'm
Yeah,
looking at pictures. I think pictures were coming out.
I know. Did you
That's
did
what happened.
were
Pictures
you
were coming out.
and then that's where it could hit you. Were you able to go back and try to rebound, or is it like you ended up taking a break, or what happened?
No, no. I mean, now I was just angry, and with me, angry is never good. Angry has gotten me in trouble many
Mm-hmm.
times, and you know how they say don't go shopping while you're angry.
Yeah,
You know, don't make decisions while you're angry.
yeah.
You know, so I was just angry, but I didn't know who I was angry at.
You were just
You
mad.
know, it was like I couldn't really. I was just freaking pissed, and
Yeah,
all I would do is I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna get this Arnold, and I'm coming back in 2008. And and I called Chad and I said, Chad. He goes, oh, Vic, take a breath. I said, Chad, I don't want to take a break. You know, when I get back, um, you know, I want to start. I want to start. And to make matters worse, I mean, you know, when it rains, it freaking pours. Literally, that's why
mm-hmm.
I'm not one to complain. I actually never really even complained in any interview during that time after the Olympia. And to make matters worse, I went to Anchorage, Alaska for guest posing. My friend Lori out there, Queen Spa. You guys go to Alaska, Anchorage, go see her. She owns an entire building as a spa. It's the best place ever.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't let her do the nasal freaking hair pull. Don't let her do that.
I'll
But
jot that down. I'll jot that down.
yeah, don't ever do that, man. It's horrible. I'm in Alaska and I get a horrible call. My best friend, biggest supporter, Mike McGuckin. Without him, I would have never been able to do the 2005 Mr. Olympia because he
Yeah.
actually got me a private sponsor for that. And I got the news that he had passed away. He didn't wake up, you know, that morning. And I think I had 4 more days left in Alaska, and I is I couldn't stay there. I
Yeah.
couldn't stay there. I told them I can't stay here. I mean, it's just one of my best friends died, and so I think that made matters worse because it just took me back to that same year, 2007,
Yeah.
doing the Arnold. Mike said I can't make it to the Arnold, and he's home. He had a bad back, and he just rents a freaking Toyota Tercel, and he drives himself from Philadelphia, drives straight to the Arnold, and he gets there with his
Yeah.
freaking hair looking like Einstein, you know, and he goes, I could have missed this because I know you're gonna win it. And,
Yeah.
and that was Mike. There was no ever down moment, bad energy moment, you know, just always uplifting. And it was just, that was the icing on my winning the Arnold. So, but losing him that year after the Olympia, it was just like, okay, like, I mean, come on, man. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell, you
It's
know?
too
I
much.
mean, fine, you took the Olympia. Well, you had to take my best friend too, you know?
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things. So I started getting ready, and you know what happened
Yep.
after that? It was about 6 weeks out from the Arnold. I freaking tore my patella,
Yeah.
and it was just like, I mean,
It was like a storm after
excuse
storm
me
after
again,
storm.
edit that. Yeah, and I mean, really, I mean, all I could think of, okay, I just want to recover and come back. You
Yeah.
know, I had to be robotic at the whole thing because emotions had already stopped in 2007.
Right.
You know, so I was just like, I don't even care. You know,
Just keep
it
going.
tore.
Yeah.
I just come back. I recover. Doctor said, you know, do physical therapy twice a week. I did it 7 days a week, and I competed a year later, but by then, Dexter had won, Jay had another year where, it wasn't quite hitting
Yeah.
the nail on the head, and Dexter was able to get his, congratulations, Dexter, you owe me
He does owe you one. He's got too many of
one.
them. He could give them up.
He
He
was
could
on
give
his
one up.
toes. On his toes. He was on his toes after the '07.
Yep.
I know Jay, felt the pressure, and everybody was training, but a lot of the guys after Ronnie kind of like, I think guys calmed down a bit, because when Ronnie was there and Jay was there, the chase was on. It was like not Jay and Ronnie, not Jay and Ronnie. Now it was just like, oh man, it's kind of open, and so Dexter got it that year. But yeah, man, that was the aftermath, man.
That's tough, man. That's definitely tough.
No, it's what it is. It is what it is, man.
But you know what?
At the end of the day,
You got to look at the positives though, at the end of the day. Like, listen, you still did more than anybody else, right? You still accomplished so much. Even if you look at the whole life from scratch. I mean, listen, man, you could have never even got into bodybuilding. Imagine where you could have been. You know what I'm saying? Things could have went completely different, right?
Saved my life.
Yeah, man. So,
Yes.
listen, man, you have beautiful kids. You're healthy. You're still in great shape. You're a legend. So,
You see my daughter.
what's up?
I need to ask. You see my daughter. I saw her. I just came to Boston and see my daughter. I'm like, oh, God. You get this body from?
Yeah, they go. My oldest is 18, man, and
Oh,
well, she's gonna be 18 this year. So like, I'm just like, what the fuck? But nah, I mean, listen, we could all live. We can live in moments as negatives or what ifs, or we can live in the moments as this is what was great of the moment, and this is what pulled everything forward going forward. So, yeah, man, it would have been great if you won, but your life could
no,
have
I
been different.
mean, yeah, it was yes. Yeah,
So
no, it would have been great. And one of the other things was after I won the Arnold, I remember I won't mention them because they to welcome you, and the president wants to give you a home and whatever. And I was like, wow, that is fantastic.
yeah.
Except I can't travel. I'm a prisoner in the United States.
Oh my God. Did he ever end up giving it to you later?
I think they rescinded that because they acted like they never offered it. So
Oh my God.
it
Of
was,
course.
it was some wow, we did, but it was one of those at the moment things
Hmm.
that while you're there, while you're the buzz, you had to
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
But when the buzz dies down, it kind of doesn't have the same effect of
Yeah.
and reality. I mean, you offer something, I think you should give it regardless how late it is.
I mean, I agree with you. Are you still are you still gonna try to hold your your shows in Dominican Republic? 'Cause you
It was a challenge there. It was a challenge because I was blocked by the organization there. I'm saying that out loud. I'm not going to hold back on that. Uh, I mean, in the end of the day, I think more of the athletes.
yeah.
And I remember I read, actually not even read. I think I did a seminar with Arnold, and the beautiful thing he used to say was, I remember I used to compete for the AAU, and then I would go in and compete for the IFBB, and I would get on do another show for another. I think he
Yeah.
mentioned like 4 different organizations
Yeah.
that he did shows for, and it wasn't ever an issue, But fast forward now, I think the IFBBs broke up.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the show to Dominican Republic, and the people that hold most of the athletes in Dominican Republic decided to go with IFBB International. and I have to stay loyal to my roots. You know, Jim Mannion, Steve Weinberg,
Yes, yes,
everybody in the pro league, IFPB. There's just no switching sides. It's just, you
yeah,
know what, this is where you started. This is where you're gonna end it.
yeah.
It was like nothing you're gonna guess. And of course, they're trying to steer me to go with them, but I'm like, but you never been there. Like, how
Been
you
there
expect
for
me
me,
to
yeah.
just all of a sudden just go with you?
Right.
Yeah, like it was some weird, I mean, it was some scandalous stuff that was going on that I really didn't want to be a part of. So I just said, listen, I gotta stay here. I really don't want to talk about this anymore. It's happened before in the past with other promoters and the within the industry, where they just try to pull athletes. And
Right.
again, it's just for their own gains.
Of
It's
course.
not because they even care about the athletes.
To get the name and get
It's
the
for their own
publicity.
gains. And I said, no, man, listen, I just want to know, if I bring a show here, do I get the support? And I'm telling you, we have it in picture, recording, and dinner and everything. And John De La Rosa was there, and it was just basically yes, but not really. So we spend a lot of money,
Right.
a lot of money. It was a lot of money. It was it was one of my also. It was one of those points that I know it could have been successful. I needed it to be successful, not just for me, but for the organization, so they can
Yeah.
see that my country does have the potential
Yeah.
and the athletes,
Yeah.
to
Because it
make this
does.
great.
Because it
Yeah, yeah,
does.
and it does. But when you have people that just want to do you in, and they have the power over certain people,
Yeah.
over threats, and taking away certain things, it just I was going against the grain and then some. And then John wasn't, and on top of that, my partner John, I mean, was going through personal stuff
Yeah.
too,
The
so
person
that
said,
was
yeah.
another challenge.
Yep.
It was just right before it even started, it got bad, leading up to it. Like, what happened to the promotion? What happened to the support? Where are the athletes? It was just going into it. And I tell you what, it was certain times when people give you a choice, or ask you something. My friend said, Victor, forget the show. Even though you already spent, whatever, $40,000 promoting it, just take $50,000 and buy Bitcoins. You know what?
Damn, that's a shame, man. I would have loved to compete in DR, man. Um,
No, but it was those weird moments and whatever, my friend made a few million now, as you see the
yeah.
market.
Yeah.
But it's just I couldn't back down. Once I start something, it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't think I ever started a show and not done it. I mean, if I think hard, even to the amateur days, regardless of whether I look good or not, if I said I was gonna do it, if I signed up to do it, I just did
You
it.
just did it, yeah.
I don't think I ever. I mean, obviously the Arnold 2008, because of my injury. The only time I had to pull out, and it wasn't really an excuse. It was just a
It was an
cause.
injury, yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. So I never done that. So for me to stop just cold turkey, the athletes, the few that wanted to do it, I had, the organization already, kind of watching and closely. So I couldn't back down. I needed this to work. And man, when I tell you, I mean, I was giving everything to these people. I mean, everyone, really, everyone, because
Yeah.
I invited, the world. So when people say, man, next year is going to be better, I'm like, well, forget next year. I think I drank all the free beer in about 4 different rooms that I And the rest, it was a blur after that. But
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
I'm like, I can't do this, man. I mean, who has the freaking energy or even, the mindset to just be set up to fail? It's
Yeah,
just, at the end of the day, it's all money. It's all money.
I
It's
know.
not just who you're gonna get money from of a show that didn't quite make it. And most shows don't make money the first time, from what I've heard
They have to
and
build. They basically
seen,
build up.
except for my yeah, they build up. But the only show I actually made money off the bat was my Bronx show.
Okay.
Uh, my Bronx show, I made money right off the bat. Um, I don't think I ever lost money on that show. Yes, it is, made less or more, but never lost any.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shows in DR, one of them broke even, and the other one just, the first one, the pro one, that one was just a flop, man. It was just a
Yeah,
flop.
it's a shame,
Yeah,
man.
but it was but man, give me a good subject, something uplifting.
Something. I'm like just going downhill
Have
here.
people kill themselves after this.
So where's what's the plans now, Vic? I know you're cool with I know MHP takes care of you real well, man.
HP,
Um,
family. I
yep.
mean, listen, when you have MHP, and I can't leave out muscular development, Steve Blackman, Gerard Dente, MHP. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
these guys in the organization, I can't leave out the organization either. You see what I've been through and all that. And then a lot of it, again, was all myself doing, and it was just old things that came back to bite me. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the support I had, that's what kept me going.
Right.
So when I went through that, it was like, I got out of this, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
I got to keep going, you
Yeah.
know.
That's
I'm not
true.
even gonna
No,
mention the other one because I don't want to see your sad face.
yeah. No
I don't
more.
want to
No
see your
more. No
sad
more.
face. I don't want to see everybody watching this sad face. So I'm not even gonna mention the other thing. All right. But going forward, came back for 2013, and I just prepped for it, busting my ass, got on stage, Juan Morel, John De La Rosa. I'm grinding for this one, man. And big freaking behemoth, Mr. Olympia, Rami, decides to show up. And freaking cast an eclipse on the freaking New York Pro in
On everybody. Yeah.
2013. And I was like, man, by a hair. But went on and took the Toronto Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Um, thank you, Canada, for letting me in and compete.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to, and I'm glad I had a border agent that was a female. Man, did I work her, boy?
you worked. You worked a special.
Yeah.
You worked your magic.
Oh, I worked her good, man. My wife was out there for like 3 hours. She's like, "What's going on? Don't worry, I got this lady. I got a white wanna, man."
Oh man.
And she's like, "Why should I let you in and compete in Toronto when you have this?" And shows the
And then,
list.
yeah, it was like a small list, but it was like several pages.
This, I was like, "Man, how'd you get that? Can I get a copy?"
Yeah, so I can keep it for myself. So, are you planning
Yeah,
ever?
but
Are you planning to ever go back on stage again, or no? Or kind of just
I mean, I did the
relax? Or
Arnold a year ago. I did
hmm
the Arnold a year ago, and um, I did it the last 2 years because it's so much so much sadness. Such a tough year, 2020.
yeah,
You know,
2020.
and it's everybody's been through it. Everybody went through it. We survived it. We're grateful, but a lot of us are having survivor's guilt. Some of us, are just, staying alive to keep, you know, that strength and courage for the
Yeah,
ones that didn't.
correct.
And a good client of mine that actually helped me and funded my competitions, the last 2 years, he passed away, and Miguel Assis.
Mm-hmm.
He was a jewelry designer, Spaniard, great man, great guy, and he passed away. So I mean, for me to do a show, I have to really put the time out of work
Yeah.
um, that that I need in order to really, really take care of my kids. They're getting older. They're getting more
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I can't say I can compete. Do I want to compete? Of course.
Of course.
Can I compete again? Of course. And I'm not saying no. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing now is just doing my projects. I'm working on my ebook. That's coming out.
Good.
It's going to be very interesting because I mean, the guys wanted to do the whole entire ebook, and they said, "Man, we'll do everything. We'll do this." And by the time I looked, I actually have to do everything
You
because,
had to do everything. Yeah.
well, I mean, come on. I mean, what's the fairness of following Victor Martinez's
If
workout
it's
if
not
they're
Victor
not done by
Martinez
Victor
working, yeah.
Martinez?
You know
So,
what? What I was thinking would be pretty cool, Vic. You have listen, man. You're a legend within the industry, but you're definitely a legend within the Hispanic community within South America. Has Victor ever even thought of making a supplement line, catering it to Latin America, and then going
ooh,
from there?
man. Ooh, we'll have to talk to MHP about that.
Well, no, 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 no. But I mean,
Ooh.
even listen. I'm listen. MHP can always
But,
fund,
yeah,
do all
yeah.
that stuff. But no, because I mean, realistically, listen. Every
The
look, every
question is, Patrick, will MHP make my own line so I can give to South
yes,
America?
there you go. That's the correct
That
word.
would be great.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
because
But
realistically speaking, all the legends they have a brand. A lot of the brands though end up doing really well outside, and it only makes
I
sense.
know.
You're already directly linked into the culture
I
itself.
know.
So it would only make sense to move the face of Victor Martinez to South America.
I know. Trust me. Listen, I go down there. I have to say, is my best, biggest audience after Russia. You
Okay.
know, love me Russia because man, the level of athletes and the level of attention and the level of wanting to learn is so great.
Mm-hmm.
In Russia, but South America, Central America, pulling out some great athletes. MD Latino is publishing a lot of these guys. They have Olympia Amateur, uh, the biggest show down there after the Arnold Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
and great, great, great athletes coming out of there. And yeah, of course, I have a lot to give, and I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. And any ideas? Come on, Patrick, let's
I
do
think.
something.
Listen, man. I'm not even kidding. That would be. It would only listen. Your Latin America is huge in fitness. I would say outside of wellness, because wellness, like those girls are it when it comes to South America. Outside of wellness, some of these bodybuilders are like insane, insane. So
Yeah,
and
but wellness is being dominated by Brazil, man.
yeah,
I don't think
it's
anybody
it's the
beats
whole
Brazil.
the whole thing. And then listen, once you even if you go to Brazil and stuff like that, I mean, there's gyms on every corner, but there's no there's supplement lines down there, but there's no real like um really good supplement lines that
Mhm.
have like a face, really strong face behind them. I'm telling you, man, I think you're just sitting on like an Easter egg, like a gold egg. It just needs to get hatched by the
Yeah,
right company to support you.
yeah. No, no, and I need the new project. I need a strong project. I need, like I said, I'm doing the ebook. I'm actually also doing a workout app.
Hmm.
Decided to do my own app.
Now,
Other companies
quick
want me to
question:
go with that.
the ebook and the workout app, that's going to be also in Hispanic, correct?
Oh, that was the first thing I said.
Okay,
It had to
okay.
be. Hold on, hold on. Did you say Hispanic? What was
Latin,
that?
in Latin. So
Okay.
it's in Latin. Yeah.
Spanish. I don't hiss and I don't panic, right? So no Hispanic. But yeah, definitely in Spanish because one of the things I remember I mentioned was, I mean, we have to do this in Spanish. Is I get into my social media and the questions are just endless,
Yeah.
and yes, I answer, I say about 25% of them, but I can't answer all of them because
There's so
you give
much.
them everything. I mean, you give so much. I mean, what are they going to look forward to?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely in Spanish. I have to. And hey, man, if I could do it in any other language, I mean, Arabic, I would, and I probably and I would too. Only because the athletes,
Yeah.
athletes, the
Yeah.
the people. I mean, health and fitness. You go back. I mean, these guys started this. 60s, 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and 80s. You think it was there already? Jack LaLanne should have. I think he should have been, there with the leaders at the Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jack LaLanne. I mean, who would have thought his gym was not going to be here now? I mean,
Yeah.
these guys were ahead of their times.
Yeah.
And look now, what dominates social media if it's not bodybuilding, fitness?
Correct. Everything fitness. Everything.
That's it, and fashion.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, fashion and fitness. That's what dominates social media, and looking good, feeling good, and looking hot. I mean, we're gonna be in business for a long time, man. In what we do.
We're already in there. We just got to keep
No, no,
marketing
we're
it.
gonna be in business for a long time as long as we evolve with what's happening.
Yes.
With the athletes, with what content they want to see, what they want to learn, and yes, I do and can help anybody in their 20s. I mean, they're so easy to work with, in their 30s. But my niche right now is working with the 40 and 50 and over because this is when they think they can't do it. It goes
Yeah.
from I can do anything to I'm getting too old to do it, and that's why I say you are wrong, and I am going to change your mind.
And make
And
it
this is
happen.
why you're wrong because I am doing this, he's doing this, they are doing this,
And
and
you could
and
do it too.
so
Yeah.
going with the change of times and being able to convince them that it ain't over until it's over. You could push this till 90 years old, 80 years old. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Health, as long as we keep health, and that's my
Correct.
awareness is keep checking under that hood, man.
Yeah.
I
I preach
mean,
that to people
keep
all the
checking under
time,
that
man.
hood.
I preach
That's
that
it.
all the time. Without health, man, none of that shit. All those muscles are great, man, but if your fucking engine inside is not running correctly, man, it don't mean nothing.
Ah, and this is me. I think twice a year. I mean, a couple of times. Like I said, I remember I gained too much weight too fast,
Mm-hmm.
where you get any regular heartbeat, anything of the sorts. I mean, going back to some of our young pros, that passed away. Some of our young pros that had to pull out early,
Yeah.
um, because again, when you feel good, you feel like you can just go
Yeah.
and change that oil, man. Change that engine oil. You
Yeah.
know, check that hood. And I always emphasize this with cars because most people take care of the cars better than themselves.
That's true.
You know?
Well, we see that because we came from the neighborhoods where the cars had to fucking and they had to shine, so they had to be great. So but yeah, I know what you mean, man. It's listen, man. This the sport's great. The fitness industry is great. All this is great. It all has its vice, positives, negatives. I think health in general is marketed the wrong
That's it.
way. I always try to preach and preach so much about health, man. I mean, listen, man. Bodybuilding has its dark side, but at the end of the day, so does everything else. But the bottom line is, it's
Yes.
still health, right? You can still be extremely healthy, preach good habits, preach show hard work, and be an example to individuals in the right way, man. Um, because yeah, that health thing is is fucking important, man. But yeah, man. I mean,
No,
but
go
yeah,
ahead,
that's
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. So yeah, that's basically it, man. I mean, like you gave a whole story, and we probably made some people cry a little bit.
Oh man, and
Uh,
again, it's just wait till the book comes out. I try to make that instead of whatever 20 chapters. I only make that 2 chapters.
I don't think you're gonna be able to, Vic. I don't think you're gonna be able
Shrink the
to.
story. The sad part, 2 chapters,
You're gonna
right?
have to probably
But
use like little font for that.
I want to know about Aries. I want to know about Aries Nutrition. Are you coming out with another store? You know,
So I opened Edison roughly like 3 weeks ago. I'm looking at a location near
you gotta
you.
come visit.
Yeah,
You
man.
gotta come.
Actually, you know what? Tell you the truth, Jay Cutler's actually going to be down at the end of April. I'm
Okay.
planning to do. Me and my wife are planning to do his Cutler Classic in Boston, which is on the 24th of April,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 25th he's going to be down in Edison.
24th of April.
Yeah, in Boston.
Hold on, the Color Classic would be 24th of April, and then he's going down to you to Edison.
The day after, yeah, and he's coming down to Edison the day after.
Okay. No, because I want to make sure I come to Boston then,
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I'll
I
text you.
always try to. No, because I always try to come for the J Color Classic
Yeah.
over here, and I always miss it by a week. I either came already or left. It's one of those. I want to make sure I'm here that weekend.
Listen, I'll make sure I text
So-
you and remind you, Vic. I'll make sure I
No,
text
I
you.
won't forget. No, I got it already.
But yeah,
No,
because I talked to
won't forget it.
I talked to Jay the other day. So yeah, the show's still on, man. And then the day after, he'll be up in Edison for a meet and greet. And then from there, we just keep going, man. Look, I can expand really quick or really wanted to, but then at the end of the day, it's just opening stores without that Aries experience of knowledge, information, and so forth. Because again, the brand isn't just pre-workouts and proteins. The brand is a lifestyle. The brand is health. The brand is fitness. The brand is bodybuilding, and so everything has to go with it. So every time it expands, it has to expand with the actual growth, and it has to have that passion behind it versus just plopping stores over the place and checking boxes and stuff like that. So
I was gonna mention something, but you said it right there. As long as every store is consistent with the knowledge and the knowledgeable employees, and they're living the lifestyle, because that's what you're gonna be ahead of all these other supplement stores, and you already are. So
and you know what? I don't ever want to think as other supplement stores as a competition, because at the end of the day, their competition is online and the false knowledge that is online.
Yeah.
Other stores are just different experiences, right? There are different experiences that a customer will have when they walk in. But at the end of the day, that's not my job. That's not my business. My business is
Right.
what is the experience when you come to Aries? What is Aries going to do for the customers? What is Aries going to do for the community? What context I can give out to people to learn and so forth. So that's really consistently what I try to work on, is how to consistently make the brand better, how to help my athletes that are connected to the store to help them grow, get them to support them so they can get to the pro level, how I can keep growing connections with top level athletes, pros, all these brands, and again, all that funnel it back to the young teenage kid who's walking through the door, and I just saved him, maybe 2 or 3 years and some cash that he could have wasted, going, just buying random things and just being all over the place, because social media is rough, man, and unfortunately, there's so many, like when people ask about diets, right? And you do diets all the time, so I always explain like this, man. I can get to New York 20 different ways, right? Just like there's 20 different diets. But I'm never going to get to New York if I decide to take every route every single day. It's one route, that's it, and you go there and you get there. And that's what I try to help people out too, man, is to get them on that one route, man, so they can get to there. And look, if it doesn't work, you start another route and so forth. But yeah, man, fitness is awesome, man. I did the corporate world fucking forever, man. I always did fitness behind the scenes. I got into bodybuilding because it was a way to escape reality. It was escape the shit that in the street, everything like that. Um, it gave me a purpose. It allowed me to build myself. Um, I had kids are young, so I had to take care of them. I worked nonstop, and then I figured, what else can I do to give back? So when I got tired of the corporate world, I kind of just wanted to create this brand, and then everything I always wanted to experience, learn, and what I loved, I always try to give that back to the people, and that's basically it, man.
Yeah.
That's basically it. So
Now, let me ask you, you ever, I don't know if you do, it's just a question, even though, are you gonna sponsor athletes?
I do have athletes. I have around 15 to 20 different athletes right now.
All right.
Half of them are national level competitors. So I do sponsor them. Now I'm not rich, so I always talk to them. Look, I'll sponsor you any way I can. As the brand grows, and you grow.
Sponsorship is sponsorship, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, you could be
So
pay a gym membership. That's a
yes,
sponsorship,
exactly, right. So there's all different levels, right? Um,
That's
the way I created the team and the way I want the team is, I don't sponsor by giving them, hey, here's a contract, sign this piece of paper, I owe you, or this is what you owe me. No, I go, look, this is the brand, this is me, meet me, okay. If you believe in a brand, if you believe in me, I believe in you back. Let's do this together, right? Let's go and hit our goals together. So that's how I created this team, and these guys and girls, man, they like without them, man, like I wouldn't be able to do what I do on a consistent basis because they really, really have my back, 100%. So I'm really excited because a lot of them are going to hit the pro stage. I'm sorry, the national stage this year. So I'm excited for them. I really am.
listen. And, hopefully, some of your athletes can make it to Victor Martinez Legends.
You just let me know, and I'll
In
make sure they're
August.
all there.
Hopefully, everything opens. I mean, I'm just keeping my hopes up that everything's open in New York by August.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think.
I
Listen,
think the New
I
York
think it
Pro
will
is going
be.
to be in Tampa again.
It will be in Tampa, but honestly, man, with the way, listen, they can't keep closed stuff for too long. Everybody goes broke. Plus, just government being government, they have to look pretty and that they're doing something good. So they're going to open us. It's just I think by summertime we'll be almost back to normal, but things will just be running smooth. So yeah, man, I would love
Yeah,
to send
yeah.
them all up there, man, and then maybe I'll just go back into prep
No,
and go
no,
up
it's
there
gonna be
myself.
great. Yeah, no, no, it's gonna be different. I mean, I still have to do a few things for the show, like pay my dues, to have the show, sanction fees and all that. But
Yes, yes.
I mean, everything is just kind of those one of those things you want to start planning without knowing. But I think
Hmm.
I have to just do it, and I think the energy and the universe will kind of make it,
I think
where
this year,
everything is open.
yeah, Vic. I
You know.
think definitely push to get it done because I think this year is going to be a huge year for fitness, especially for the shows. We've all been locked down last year. A lot of people, and I think people are hungry to get on stage, and plus how much fitness has grown. I mean, listen, everybody just does the show nowadays, but it doesn't matter. Get on stage, you already accomplished more than anybody else. That's number one. And then afterwards, everything works. But yeah, I think this year is going to be a great year when it comes to the fitness world,
I don't
especially
know.
for
It's
the
gonna be
girls.
fun. I'm gonna have a lot of food. There's always food in my shows. Always pizza. I must have pizza for my athletes.
You gotta give
Give
them
them that
pizza.
pizza pump, and
Gotta
definitely a
have
lot of
pizza.
cookies. I know Juan's gonna be there with his cookies, so he's gonna
Uh,
load them all up.
oh Jesus, the coma cookies.
Oh man, those
Those
things.
things are like 10 pounds, man. You can just
Ah,
throw it and kill somebody if you need to. This thing is like crazy,
wow.
but I'm happy for one, man.
Hey,
That's huge, man. Those
oh, that was
cookies are
great.
like, it's yeah, it's like diamonds made out of sugar. Just selling them all over the
Oh
place.
man.
But yeah,
Oh,
man, that's kind of
holding everybody.
I know, but yeah, that's kind of like just how it is, man. So yeah, that's the everything behind the brand, man, behind the athletes, and yeah, and then hopefully in the summer, man, I'm gonna have another event in the summer, like I always do, in the parking lot.
Yeah, that'd be great.
This time, yeah, this time it's
Oh man, I gotta say last song with my son, man. Oh man, that was classic, man. I'm still looking at that video. It's just classic. It was beautiful, man.
he was happy, man. So
He was just
I'm glad that worked out, man.
he's
So I'm gonna do
Yeah,
it. Yeah, I'm doing it again this year because it's like an annual thing I want to do. This time around, I'm gonna turn it into 2 days, so it'll be one day in Hamilton, one day in Addison, like that way. But again, that's something that, again, it goes back to the people, man. Like, think about last year. Nobody did anything, right? Well, hey, guys, you can come out and enjoy, and be pros, and have a good time for free. So again, it's just a way. It's just another way to try to give back to the consumers and to people that even support my the brand Aries and so forth. So listen, man, without I say this all the time, without them,
yeah.
there is no us. That's the bottom line. So
Ooh,
so we have to give to them because
1,000%.
they give to us back, man. So and that's it, man.
No, that's why I love taking care of the athletes, the people that go to the show. I mean, I think it's right now. I think it's one of my hardest working days. You know, running that show. So I definitely want to pump it up, and I hope and I know everything should be open by then, and wait to have you there. I mean,
Hmm.
what local gym do you have by you now? The Edison store.
The Edison, oh man, by Edison store, there's a Pollen gym which we trained at. There's Diesel gym. There's
No
UFC
problem. Yeah,
gym.
yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't
Hmm.
know it was close in Edison. I thought it
Yeah,
was.
that Apollon gym is 5 minutes away from the Edison store.
Oh no, no, it's perfect.
Yeah,
We do the rematch, yeah,
of course, man.
rematch workout there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be in Edison and then in Hamilton. Listen, you can't just like you said, right? You can't finish your event without a pump afterwards. So
have to, man. Come on.
and then you got to
It's
feed,
the
and
ice
then you have to feed
thing.
afterwards too. So it
Yes.
works out, man. But yeah, it should
But
be a good year in general for people this year for sure, brother.
it's like, oh, what is it? Lost Boys, It's like, man, we can
You're bringing it
party all
back.
night. We
You're
can
bringing it
live.
back now.
Oh, we
You're
must
taking
feel.
that back. You're taking that back.
I'm not quite there, right? I remember that part though. Oh, we must feed.
Dude, listen, I play so from the Aries YouTube channel, I play the videos always on one of the TVs and always in the stores. And one of the videos is when we're all in the pod and everybody's training, and there's a specific part when it's like, all right, we're done. Now we must feed. Exactly like you just said it. I'm gonna record it and send it to you because it's exactly like that. So, and every time it pops up, I start cracking up behind the scenes, man. So, but yeah, brother. I mean, that's basically it, man. I guess to finish everything off, man, Vic. Look, man, I'm always grateful to you. I'm grateful to the customers, the supporters, man. I'm so humbled and blessed to have the opportunity to speak to individuals who I used to look into magazines. Like that's the bottom line.
Oh,
I looked in the
thank
magazines
you,
and
man.
saw you. I looked in the magazines, saw Kevin. All these guys that I got a chance to meet, and to have the opportunity to introduce you guys to everybody else. So I'm definitely humbled and blessed, and I always, always, always would say thank you, and from the bottom of my heart for everything,
Wow.
man.
That's without a doubt, man. Thank you. Thank you. And again, you're just again, you cool as hell. Down to earth. And I don't know if everybody's like this back home. Back home where you came from, but
Listen, I came
yeah,
from a little
but
village, man, so there wasn't anything going on other than the farming and working, and that's it, man.
they had a gym there or
Man,
what?
I didn't have nothing, man. I didn't learn about the gym until I came here, man.
Oh,
All I knew was
cow.
soccer
Yeah.
and farming. Yeah, it was funny, man, because when I came down, I was young, man. I was like 9 years old. I was like this nerdy kid, man. Couldn't even speak English, and then like I grew up in a huge Hispanic area, man. I had hooked up cars, racing cars,
Yeah.
and then like I started reading the magazines and everything like that, and just got into the whole gym scene, and then I just became my passion, and then that pulled me away from anything else, in a positive way. Um, so yeah, man.
Hey man, same thing. There was no gym where I grew up in my little city in Dominican Republic. Like I said, the stadium just had a couple of dumbbells and a bench. There
Hmm.
wasn't much of a gym, but you know what? Now there is. We everything's evolved and you catering to it, and that's what we're doing now. We adding to it. You
That's it.
know,
That's it, brother. But all right,
that's the
brother.
future.
So thank you. Listen, thank you so much. Everybody that
Anytime.
listened, listen to everybody that listened to this. This was supposed to be a 20-minute,
I know.
20-minute podcast, but I knew it was going to end up being longer. So it's all great. But it's listen, it was great talking to you, Vic. Always, man. I'm like, you know me.
Give
I'm
half
gonna,
a story.
brother. I'm gonna stay in touch like always, man. We'll link up soon, man. And guys, stay tuned. Check out the video. Check out more videos. You'll definitely get to hear from Vic again. And Vic, that's it, man. All right, brother.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching Aries Nutrition Podcast. Until next time, and the next athlete, this poll's for you.
Can I do a little pump? Can I do a little? All right. Thank you so much, Vic. God bless. God bless your family, brother, and have a great night. All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Take care, brother.